Welcome, everyone. Happy Rosh Chodesh, Good Chodesh, everyone. Start off with a l'chaim. For coming out tonight, to come into our home, and to bring such life and such bracha and such simcha into our home. Tonight's Farbrengen is sponsored by the Friedman family for a very, very special Yahrzeit of Lahavdom Chaim L'Chaim, a very special participant of our Farbrengens. And I always called him Mr. Friedman. People call him Norm. Mr. Friedman, Nissan Reuven ben Shammai. His neshama should have an aliyah. It's a time of simcha, so be careful not to mix any internal pain with the simcha.
Nor would he want you to.
No, absolutely not. He would tell me, Noah, cut it out.
But also turn down that chili.
He would say, stop it. He would say, Nechemia, can you hear me?
You're telling Nechemia to turn on that chili.
He would tell Nechemia to lower the temperature on the chili, on the chili powder. So, what I thought was appropriate for tonight, because by Hasidim, not only do Hasidim never say goodbye, but the Gemara says that by Yaakov Avinu, it's interesting halacha, in the middle of a meal, you're not allowed to talk because somebody might say something surprising and God forbid you might choke on your food. So at that halacha in the Gemara, the other person says to him, oh, Yaakov Avinu never died. He wanted to say something so mishichist to catch the other guy off guard. So the Gemara has to deal then with that issue. What does that mean? Didn't die. There's Avelus, person was buried, all of the mourning that went on, the Kaddish was said, 11 months and stopped, and then the 12th month, and then the Yahrzeit. Something's happening. So the Gemara says, Ma zaro b'chayim, afu b'chayim. If his children, if the seeds that he planted are alive, then he's still alive as well. So the Rebbe says, we've talked about this many times by the Friedman Rebbe's Yahrzeit, that the neshama is a ner Hashem nishmas odom, that the neshama of a person is like a flame. And when a person dies, in this world, meaning the neshama goes to Gan Eden, but in this world it looks like the ner went out, it was extinguished. But when the family members, the zera, the children that were planted by that parent are alive by doing Torah and mitzvos and avas Yisrael and their emunah in Hashem, they relight the neshama of that person who passed away back into this world again, and he's alive again in this world retroactively. That's what the Gemara means, that Yaakov Avinu lo meis, Moshe Rabbeinu lo meis, that mazaro b'chayim afu b'chayim. It's not just something, oh, well, they're telling over his Torahs, therefore he's alive. No, mamish, what happens is they create a second spiritual body for the person who has left this world so that their neshama can come back in this spiritual body and participate and see what's going on. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi used to come home every Friday night and make kiddush for his family. Beautiful Tosfos, every Hasidim. So therefore, tonight is our opportunity again to relight the ner. Relight the ner, which is Nun Reish, Nissan Reuven. We are going to talk about the meaning in Kabbalah and Chasidus and Chazal about Nissan and Reuven, and we'll even get in a Ben Shammai in there tonight, because Mr. Friedman was a Chosid Atzum. His Avas Yisrael was off the charts. His ability to tell the truth blatantly, literally, without delay, miyad. You always told the MS. immediately. And I very much am enjoying his presence in this Farbrengen tonight, and the joy that he has to be able to have hashpah that pushed us to be able all of these years to come together, to have an achdus, to have an opportunity despite everyone's very busy schedules. And again, I'm very, very grateful that you came out tonight. This is Rosh Chodesh, and Rosh Chodesh Adar Marbim B'Simcha. It's such an appropriate time for his neshama, for his Yahrzeit, because he was always Mar B'Simcha. If a person was down, he would say, cut it out. Let's get happy. Let's get ourselves on the right track. And it's really, he was a ner, a light that came into our lives. And Nissan Reuven's light should continue to shine even brighter as we continue on, that in Marbim, as the Lubavitcher Rebbe said, it's not increase in Simcha just on Rosh Chodesh. It's each day you have to increase in the Simcha you had on the first day of Adar, the second day more, as you're approaching Purim time, where you have the highest level of Simcha. And the Rebbe even says the rest of the month of Adar as well, as we push to the month of our Baal Hilula tonight, Nisan, which is the Chodesh HaGeula that we're going to talk about. So I want to wish l'chaim for everybody, that his neshama of Nissan Reuven ben Shammai should have an aliyah.
Amen.
And I want to thank the family very much for coming together tonight. start at the beginning. The beginning's the letter Aleph. Aleph, backwards, is the word Pella, wonders. Tonight is a night of wonders. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about the importance of recognizing miracles in our lives, not taking for granted that anything is natural. And the more miracles that we see cause more miracles to happen in our lives in a visible way. So we've decided tonight, in order to keep everything moving as much as possible, to say a little Divrei Torah, sing some music, have some more food and l'chaims. What was Rosh Chodesh before the Torah was given?
Unbelievable.
It's a beautiful,
Unbelievable.
absolutely beautiful picture.
Incredible.
Wow.
Leib sent it, yeah.
Baruch Hashem.
Picture.
Abdu Mechaim L'chaim.
Unbelievable picture.
Pass this around. Beautiful, beautiful. It's a Farbrengen.
Send the phone
It's a
back.
Farbrengen. Norm, we need you. What's the difference between Rosh Chodesh before the Torah was given to Rosh Chodesh after the Torah was given? So the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Lubavitch Rebbe Menachem Mendel, he says, what is the difference between tzedakah and chesed? The moon on Rosh Chodesh, there's no moon, it's dark, waiting to become a sliver. It needs a shine from the sun in order to complete what she's missing. When you give tzedakah, that's exactly what you're doing. You have a poor person who's missing something, and you fill in what they're missing. Lo sechsar kol. Everything they need, you provide what they're missing. That's tzedakah. But chesed is merov kol, in excess of everything. More than tzedakah. Rosh Chodesh, which we're celebrating tonight, before the Torah was given, before Matan Torah, was just about a moon needing to be born, receiving from the sun. As the Zohar says, Ma'oros Choser, that the word representing the sun and the moon was missing a letter, missing a vav. They're lacking something. So Hashem, for all of the years till Matan Torah, did tzedakah with the moon and gave it what it was missing. But the moment we came out of Mitzrayim, and HaChodesh Hazeh, the month of Nissan, remember our Divrei Torah tonight is going to be about Nissan Reuven. When the month of Nissan was given to Klal Yisrael and is established as the first month of the year, it was the month of Geula, the month of Nissan. No more tzedakah. It's time for chesed, where you get rov kol, you get an excess of bracha being given to you. And when you have an excess of bracha, umevi goel livnei v'nehem, that the children and the grandchildren and the descendants, they will have a geula. And that's why Chazal tell us that once Klal Yisrael came out of Mitzrayim, b'Nisan nigalu, u'v'Nisan asidan ligoel. We were delivered years ago in Nisan, and we're going to be delivered again. Mashiach coming in the Nisan. And the Tzemach Tzedek ends off, Kol dodi hinei zebo medalig al haorim. It's the voice of my beloved, the beautiful Shechina that's now perfect. And it says, Hinei zeh, this. You can point to it, and it is a leap. This is the Geula that's higher than Seder Hishtalshelus we learn in Chasidus, the way that the worlds, that the Spheros comes down. Geula is much higher than that. And that's why in Nisan we say, HaChodesh Hazeh. It's the same zeh that you can point your finger to when Mashiach comes. That's the kol dodi nezabah, that my beloved, this moment has happened in our lives because of Nisan, when Hashem has changed Rosh Chodesh to become a time that's not just about tzedakah to give you what you're missing, but to give you chesed, that you're overflowing from everything. As we had Kavanah today, after Hallel, the Malachim, the Sfiros, that the Orient Sov, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give everybody as a Parnasa, the Revach, as it says in Megillah Esther, the Revach, the Hatzola, that for Ruchnius and Begashmius, we should have an Ashirus, we should have a sense of Sameach Bechelko, that we're happy with what we have, which is the greatest wealth. I have to tell you, the Friedman family, Baruch Hashem, you've been blessed with a tremendous gift in your family, and you should be Sameach Bechelko, and then you'll be the richest family.
I'm.
Okay, next song. And then we serve the Nechemia's children.
By the way,
All right, we'll start with some Hallel. Mekimim Yafar Dol.
Let me help you sing on this one then. What is this? Kiwi. My help? You can sing Get Up There? Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
oh, I didn't I don't need a mic. This is the greatest guitar strap. Up, down.
more Divrei Torah, then we'll serve the chili. Our Baal Hilula of the night, Rav Nissan. It's brought down that Nissan is called Chodesh Ha'aviv, the month of spring. Nissan is called the Bechor, the firstborn. We also find that Reuven is called the Bechor, Bechor of Yaakov. Yeser Se'es V'Yeser Oz, extra power that Reuven had, double portion. The Bechor of the Yud Gimel Milos Arachim, Hashem Karachim L'Chanon, is the name Kale of Hashem, is the first level of the month of Nisan, the month of Chesed. So, how is it that Tishrei, when the world was created, the first month was Tishrei, but when Bnei Yisrael came out of Mitzrayim, the first month was shifted over to Nisan? The letters of Tishrei are a backwards aleph beis. Tov, Shin, Resh, and then the Yud is a Kuf in the combinations of letters, 10 versus 100. But Nisan, which is not Tzedakah, but the month of Chesed, is Chodesh HaAviv. The word Aviv is Aleph Beis, starting from the beginning. Because Aviv is the Av, it's the father, it's the Bechor, it's the Reuven. We know within Hashem's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei, the Yud represents Reuven, and the Hey represents Shimon, and it keeps moving further on. The Ramchal, based on the Arizal, he says that the first Madrega is Re'iyah, to be able to see, first power of the soul. The second level is Shmiya, Shimon, to be able to hear. Chazal, Pirkei Avos says, Ezel Chacham Haroeh Es Hanolad. Who's a wise person? He's someone who can tell what's going to happen based upon the circumstances. He can see what's going to happen. That's a Reuven. We are told, Su'u Maro Meinechem, raise your eyes to heavens. In davening, we're supposed to look to Hashem and see, Ru'u Mi Bara who created these. Therefore, Reuven, our Yahrzeit, Nissan Reuven, he was the Bechor of all the Shvatim, because Nisan is Aviv, and Aviv is Av Yud Beis. It's the father of the other 12 months of the year. One more page. Reuven, Shimon, and Levi are Chesed, Gevura, and Tiferes. Reuven represents the Chesed, which is the Ava and the Chesed that comes from the right column of Chachma to be able to have the Re'iyah to see Hashem. Reuven is the same letters as Or, Ben. It's the light of the son, the child, the boy who's able to be a son. Rabbi Yitzchak, are you here? There's Rabbi Yitzchak.
He's in the house.
I didn't get a hug from Rabbi Yitzchak yet.
Oh.
You have to forgive me if I slip and I give you an ira from time to time. The Zohar says, Reuven is the letters Or Bain. It's the light of the sun. Your father shept tremendous nachas from you. And the Zohar says, Kibrod derachim li'aba v'ima yatimi garmei v'nafshe. Like a son who loves his parents more than he loves himself, and will do anything for them more than he would even do for himself. That's how you should feel each day you say Shema. The first parsha of Shema should be such a love for your parents that you're running to Hashem in Chesed Pnei Aryeh, the level of Re'iyah of Reuven. And when you come to Vahaya im Shamoa, Shamoa is to listen to the level of Gevura of Shimon, Vahayim Shamoa, where you're coming down from Shamayim, which in the Merkava is the Pnei Shor, and a Shor is La'ol, in order to work hard serving Hashem in this world. And Chazal say, Al Tikri Bon Noach, Ela Bon Noach. That the word in the Pasuk says your children, but it means really somebody who builds. In the beginning, You start off like a Reuven, Nissan Reuven, where you're like a child and you're running to your father, running to Hashem and davening. But the goal is not to be bonayach, to be bonayach. Your father wants you to build and to make things happen in your life and in this world, to return back below in your life.
Fine.
It's gonna be chilly.
So would either that or be you mine? Way lower. E minor? Let's go. I know we can try it. Alright, here we go.
Oh
and so much Divrei Torah about Norm, Nissan Reuven, and so much singing that there's not enough time to schmooze. And my father was mentioning to me, so Be'ezras Hashem, the Shavricks and the Friedmans will have a macaroni and cheese dinner, with some tuna casserole, old school Baltimore. We'll be able to sit and quietly schmooze and talk. Tonight's a little advanced, and it's pushing because we have so much simcha and so much Purim coming, but Be'ezras Hashem, we'll have a chance for quiet conversations. The Tzemach Tzedek says that Reuven and Shimon represents the levels of seeing and hearing. You see things that are close to you and you fall in love with them. You hear things that are far away from you and you become afraid of them. This is the shorosh of Ava and Yira. Based upon how you meditate in the words in davening, if you see Hashem close, you feel Ava. If you feel yourself far from Hashem, you feel Yira. Hashem shamati shimach v'yoreis. I only heard about you, and I'm afraid because I can't see you. But we need to have both Ava and Yira together. We need to be balanced, like a bird has a right wing and a left wing, Chesed and Gevura, the Knafayim, in order to fly with. The two first parshios in Shema are exactly this. Parsha of Yohavta, love, and the Parsha of V'hayim Shamoa, which should be about fear. But in Kabbalah, we have the Shem Mem Beis and Shem Ayin Beis. Shem Mem Beis is a very powerful Gevura name, Anna B'choach. You see the Rashi Tevos, Abayitatz, Korasan. And those are the 42 words of Yohavta. So in the greatest love, you're experiencing the greatest Gevura. And then in V'hayim Shamoa, there's 72 words, which is Shem Ayin Beis, the name of Chesed that Hashem split the Red Sea with. So Shema itself, the Ahavta with the Kavanos of the Shemos, and V'hayim Shamoa with the Kavanah of the Shemos, is purely a blending of Chesed and Gevura. This is Nissan Reuven. The Chesed of Nissan Reuven is the fact that Nissan's the first month of the year. Norm is considered the Bechor. However, when there's so much chesed from Norm, he needs the gevura of his father Shammai to balance him out, to be complete. This is the vav of the nose. Your nose is like a vav on your face. After you have the yud and the hey, and then you have a vav, a balance between chesed and gevura. After you see and you hear, the next madrega is reach, to be able to smell after Yud Kei. So too, after you say Shema, V'yohavta, V'hayim Shamoa, Yud and Hey, it's all vavs, which is this 15 vavs of the Yatziv, V'nochem, V'kayim that we have. And the sense of reach of the nose after davening is the greatest time for your study of Torah. You should absolutely take time after you finish davening, before you run off to go to work, run off to go to home, to have a time to study Torah. It'll be the most pleasant, enjoyable sense of smell in your relationship with Hashem. And therefore, by Reuven, Yaakov Avinu said, Pachas kamayim al tosa, you're so rushing to say everything. You have no patience. Norm had no patience for nonsense. He told it like it was, whether the minion wanted to hear it or not. He told the MS immediately. One more page and we'll sing a little bit more. Norm's name, Nissan. Was your father born in Nissan? It's like an old-time minhag. He was not. Nissan, he was named after another Nissan, right?
His wrist was Tisha B'Av.
Really? So he was named after a Nissan, I guess.
He was
Named after a Nissan.
His
That's right.
grandfather was Nissan.
Grandfather Nissan. The word Nissan The first month of the year is a word nes, a miracle. But it's also the word nisayon, which is a test, trials and tribulation. What is a nes? The Hebrew word nes means a flag atop a flagpole. You raise something up very high so everybody can see it. A nes's purpose, the reason why Hashem performs miracles in the world, all of the parshios that we've had, Yetzias Mitzrayim, is for us to be able to raise up Hashem, Romamus of Hashem, like that flag, so everybody can see how great Hashem is. When we say the bracha, She'asa Nisim Lavosenu, which we're going to say by Megillah soon, said by Chanukah, we say the words Bayomim Hahem, on those days, which sounds something quite hidden. Bizman Hazeh, in this time, which is something that I can see, something I can relate to. So we know that our fathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, represent the midos of Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes. And miracles were done in order to take Klal Yisrael higher than Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. She'asa nisim lavosenu. Hashem did things for us in a miraculous way to elevate Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov from Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes of Atzilus to Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes of Keser, the highest madrega, to the level of Bayomim Hahem, to those days that I can never imagine seeing. But the goal is not Bayomim Hahem. She'asa nisim lavosenu, to take Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes up to Keser. Bayomim Hahem, Bizman Hazeh, you have to bring it back down to this world, which is the Bechina of Malchus, the life force of Hashem, which makes time and space in our world. And it's true that Nisim are supernatural. Our world is based on 7 days of the week, 7 years of Shemitah. Nisim come from the level above 7, which is called Bina, the mother. The mother of Zun, Zer V'Nukva. Please, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you better call me and set up a time to learn with me or Akiva during the week. This is your Yerusha. This is your Chelik in Torah. Zer V'Nukva.
Must be Nesher Hasidim over here, right?
Absolutely. The Nechemkins. Right. Don't get me started on the Nechemkins here.
My mother hear that?
The Nechemkin family. Right, absolutely. Zer Anpin
That's right.
is the Shem Ma. Zer Anpin is name 45. Yud Ke Vav Ke Mili Alphin. Malchus Nukva is Shem Adni, which is 65. If you add together Zer V'Nukva 45, Ma V'Adni 45 and 65, you get the gematria of Nes. Because Zer V'Nukva is what's natural in the world. It's the Zion Tachtonos. It's what our world naturally is, Al Pi Kabbalah. But the Gimel Rishonos, the first 3 spheros, is where the Nes occurs. Chaim. He decided to write a new
One
song.
of his best ones.
The song is called Biyom Karasi Vataneni. Wow. On the day, Tarhiveni Rav Shios, Yoduk Hashem Kamachel Horwitz, Yishamru Imrei Ficha. And the pasuk means, on the day, Hashem, that I called, and you answered me, you made me great by putting strength into my soul. O Lord, all the kings of the earth will acknowledge you, for they heard the words of your mouth. What key is this in, Nechemia?
B flat.
B flat.
It looks like a B flat.
Looks like a B flat.
I need the lyrics for this.
All right, this is a new nigun.
Turn this on. Noah, this reminds me of classical assumptions.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Baruch Hashem.
One second.
Okay, you go.
Kenny says, right?
So on Sunday when I was
on Sunday when I was going through that day's Tehillim, I was specifically looking
Turn your
for
guitar down. Turn your guitar volume down.
my volume's on. Something's feedback. I'm on.
Yeah.
Just the mic.
Thanks, Ron.
It's too high. The mic's too high.
It's
too high.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay. So while I was going through Tehillim, I was specifically looking for a passage to write a song with. I used to do that in the past, and I had some luck. And for a little while before this, it was just a couple days I looking and didn't find anything. And I came across this piece, specifically these two psukim. I think it was Kuf Lam and Ches. And I quickly went to Chalak.org just to double check what the English translation was to make sure I knew what it was saying. And what the words said kind of was really interesting because it says, on the day that I called, you answered me. I was looking for a song. So I called. And it said, you made me great strength into my soul. It gave me the strength to write this song. And the second part is basically, paying homage to Hashem, to say thank you, and everybody should acknowledge you. This was very bizarre for me also because this song was written under 5 minutes, which almost never happens. I came over here and sat down because I needed a little quiet because the baby was running around. But I came over here and I started singing it, and I sang the low part, and I was like, oh, this is great. And I started singing the high part, and Akiva comes out of his room and he says, what was that? So he comes in with it, he grabs a guitar, and we sit down and we play the high part, and he started singing harmony, and that's how we came up with the song. So it was an amazing thing. So.
That's the way to say Tehillim.
Beautiful.
Wow. Beautiful.
Gotta speak some more, Nechemia. Soup too.
I saw the sky burning across the horizon. Is the world on fire? I'd like to know. Clouds are gathering, the storm is brewing. Will the rain fall? I'd like to know. Wash everything away. Wash everything away. Wash everything away. Wash away. As I turn to you, I will start day. In the morning I pray, asking God for help. Change is a hard pill to swallow, but I will, because in God I have faith. He'll wash everything away. He'll wash everything away. He'll wash everything away. He'll wash away. As I turn to you, I will start anew. You are As I turn to you, I will start anew. You As I turn to you, I will start anew. As I turn to you, I will start I saw the sky burning across the horizon. Is the world on fire? I'd like to
All right. Nissan Reuven. In Kabbalah, when you daven, you're supposed to have in mind when you say the name of Hashem, you pronounce it Adonai, but you have in mind Yud Kei Vav Kei. So you're having together Yud Kei Vav Kei and Adni together. In Kabbalah, we call this the Shiluv, to mix together the letters of Havai and Adni. Sometimes the Yud Kei Vav Kei gets mixed in the letters of Aleph Daled Nun Yud, and Aleph Daled Nun Yud is the stronger one. And other times, the Aleph Daled Nun Yud gets mixed into Yud Kei Vav Kei, and Yud Kei Vav Kei is more strong. So it's brought down that when you blend Yud Kei Vav Kei into the name of Adnus of Hashem, that's the miracle of Purim. Because the name of Aleph Daled Nun Yud is nature. Shem Shakai. In Baltimore, we grew up, we say Shem Shakai. So the Rebbe says Shem Shaddai. The Sephardim say Shem Shaddai. There's something in TA. They taught us never to pronounce it. Everybody else said, all the other Shemos, but Shakai, they all say Shaddai. The name Shaddai is the name of Hashem that causes the miracle of Purim. But when you mix the names of Havai and Adni together, and Havai is the stronger one, then you are going to have a Yud Kei Vav Kei miracle, which is not a Purim drama miracle. It'll be a miracle of a supernatural event, like the splitting of the Red Sea, because Yud Kei Vav Kei produces supernatural miracles, and Adni represents the Purim drama miracles over 13 years. We know that in our lives, there are 3 levels of miracles that are occurring. They correspond to the name Elokim, Shakai, and Havaya, Yud Kei Vav Kei. Elokim is the constant miracle of life that you're living every single second that you're alive. Miracles. We've seen miracles here amongst we Farbrengen together. Health miracles. Oh, I'm sorry.
Kitchen miracles.
Kitchen miracles. It's a miracle to put this Farbrengen together, I have to tell you. Baruch Hashem, all comes together. Elokim is the name of Hashem for the miracles that are happening in your life every second that you're alive. Minhago shel olam, that's how the world operates. Shaddai is the miracle that happens enclosed in nature, that it looks like the drama of nature's making it happen, but really Hashem is Mishaded Hamazolos. Shaddai, Hashem is really making things happen, of hating Vashti and loving Esther and all these other, that's already a higher name of things. And Yud Kei Vav Kei is the name of Hashem uses when he performs splitting of the Red Sea, supernatural miracles that we have. So our Baal Hilula, our Yahrzeit of Reb Nissan Reuven Norm, it's a miracle, Nace. When a miracle happens on Purim that's natural appearing, it comes from a higher level than a miracle that is supernatural. Because a miracle that happens naturally is covered by a levush, a garment, compared to the splitting of the Red Sea, where it can't even be in a garment at all. Shtickle Kabbalah here. The source of a miracle which is supernatural is from Zoh, Zeranpin. But in order to enclose a miracle in nature, it has to come from a higher madrega, which is the madrega of Yesod Ava. I was hoping your Chavrusa would come today. Ellie, you're learning, Akiva's learning Kavanos of Purim. Anybody wants to learn with Akiva? He's available. He knows his stuff. Yesod of Abba is a very high Kabbalah Madrega, and that's the Madrega of Purim, because it receives from Atik Yomin, and that's the miracle of the Nace of Purim, that it was enclosed in hating Vashti and loving Esther. And this miracle of Purim is greater than the splitting of the Red Sea, because only when you're able to have miracles occur in your life, where you see the nature around you, are you truly able to appreciate the greatness of Hashem. It's like if we learn, like you were taught in yeshiva, you leave this world, you go to very high madregos, you see miracles at high madregos, that's not an accomplishment. But in your daily life to see miracles, when the nature of Teva around you, that's the highest madrego. The end of the 3rd parak of Nida, the Gemara says a beautiful thing. We say the pasuk, La'osei niflos gedolos levado. Hashem, you do these great miracles, great wonders. Levado, Hashem is alone. Which means, the Gemara says, Afilu bal hanes eino makir beniso. The one that Hashem just did a miracle to didn't even know a miracle occurred. You're sleeping in your bed, and a poisonous snake is running by and going. Somebody's trying to break in. Someone, chas v'sholem, terrible things could be happening. Wonderful things could be happening. And you're oblivious. You wake up and you do your job and you live your daily life. And there are miracles happening around you constantly. And the Gemara in Nida says, you don't even realize the miracles that are happening in your life. This is Nissan, the miracles in our lives. Chazan Lipsikis used to teach us on Hanukkah, Mi Yamalel Gevuros Hashem. Who can even speak of the wonders of Hashem? And every day, you have the chutzpah to say in Shmona Esrei and Modim, V'al niflo sechlo v'tova sechlo shebecholes. You're saying, Hashem, you're doing wonders in my life. You're doing wonderfully great things every single moment in my life. Are you aware of that throughout the day? Your heart is beating, your brain, you're breathing, you're having impact on people in your life, you're having hashpah, you're bringing the geula. Miracles are happening every single moment in your life, as you yourself said in Shemona Esrei. And that's why the pasuk in Nida says, La'ose niflos gedolos levado. There's only Hashem. From that level of levad, from only Hashem, came about the miracle of Purim that's coming on us. Because Nissan Reuven is the Nisim that we recognize. When you see a miracle happen in your life, you're going to tell everybody about it. Jeff Cohn will get it on Baltimore Jewish Life in no time. It'll be a miracle. That miracle comes from Avraham Avinu. And Chazal say, Avraham Yodanu. We know Avraham. However, on Purim, it was a miracle that occurred within nature. Nothing on Baltimore Jewish Life is within nature. Chazal say, Avraham lo yodanu. We don't even recognize Avraham in this madrego. On the miracle of Purim, it came from Levad, from Yesod Abba, from Hashem. It can come down and be a miracle in our lives. And I promise you, if you open your lives to realize that your own being, your own health, your own family, and your own life, every moment is a miracle, you'll start seeing more and more of these miracles in the teva, in the nature of your life. And that's more valuable than if Hashem would split the Red Sea for you. Because you have to overcome seeing the world that you're attracted to and what you're used to, and to realize really this is a Nissan Reuven. This is a time of Nisim that's occurring in my life.
stars won't shine. I will wait till your light shines through.
Where's the bridge? We missed the bridge.
It's like the Bay Bridge.
I'll see it.
What key is that?
Avraham, that's a new song. It's a new song, yes? We wrote that
Keep בפחד פתאום, ומשורת בשעים, כי תבוא. אל תירא בפחד פתאום, ומשורת בשעים, כי תבוא. וצועצו ותופר, דברו דבר ולא יקום. דברו דבר ולא יקום, כי עמנו כן. כי עמנו כן. כי עמנו כן. כי עמנו כן.
Who made the soup? Nechemia? Akiva? Akiva made the soup. Nechemia made the soup. Who made the soup?
I made the soup. I made the soup. I thought Akiva made it. He used to make the soup.
Baruch Hashem, in 2 weeks, we have Purim, the miracle of Purim coming upon us.
Who made the soup?
Who made the soup? It was a secret miracle. Who made the soup?
I made the soup.
That's the miracle that I even made the soup.
The story of Farbrengen.
But despite the Nes Nister, the Tzemach Tzedek says, despite the fact that the miracle was hidden, Ra'u kol avsei haaretz eis Yeshuas Elokeinu, that all the nations of the land, they saw that the Purim story was really a saving salvation from Hashem. Which means, during the days of Mordechai and Esther, Persia, everyone knew that Hashem was the only God. Ein od milvado, there was no one besides Hashem. But this showed up in the hatred of Achashverosh for Vashti, and the love of Achashverosh for Esther, and Achashverosh sending out letters of genocide from Haman, to then be overwritten by the letters from Mordechai and Esther. And therefore we say like this: When a supernatural miracle, like splitting of the Red Sea, happens in your life, you can see it with your physical eye. You see the supernatural miracle. But when a Purim story happens, you see no miracle with your eyes. This is your daily life. Your daily life is constantly a Purim miracle. You don't see anything miraculous happen, but miracles are constantly happening in your life. It's only if you use your seichel, your intellect, your chabad, the mind's eye, to see the miracle that's happening in the nature of your life, because a miracle that happens in the nature of your life is far greater than a supernatural miracle. This is the last page of the Nissan Reuven Sichos from the Tzemach Tzedek. Famous Chazal, Habracha shora al davar hasamoy min ha'ayin. Brachos only land on something that's kept secret. Somebody's expecting a baby, you don't tell anybody, at least till 3 months, till the person starts showing. Keep it private, including in your own life. When a great business deal happens, a great health things, something happens, a simcha, do not grab your phone and put it on social media. The privacy of family is gone. Everybody puts everything out there in open, and that's why there's no brachos on it. Chazal say a bracha is on something that is hidden from public eye. When you count something, we know by David HaMelech, it's by Machzis HaShekel, which is a Parsha Shkol, and Davar HaMonoi. When you count something, you increase the dangers of the klipos, of evil attacking. So, if you're dealing with something countable, you have to be a tzaddik. To get a supernatural miracle, so Klal Yisrael, they left Mitzrayim, they were Amech Kulam Tzadikim, they're all Tzadikim, so they could also, in the public view, have the water split, as the Gemara says, that even a guy sitting in some other country was sitting in the bathtub during splitting the Red Sea, his bathtub split, the water split all over the world. But in your daily life, the hidden miracles that are constantly happening in your life are samoy min ha'ayin. They are hidden from view. They're hidden from your view. Just like Purim was a 13-year soap opera that never appeared to be a miracle. But because the miracle was hidden, therefore the bracha landed on something hidden from the eye. So, my own insight, I think that Hanukkah and Purim, we see a difference. Hanukkah, you got Pirsumei Nisa. You're supposed to publicize to everyone the miracle. Go, Lubavitchers today drive around in their cars with their menorahs on top of their cars. And believe it or not, when my daughters were in Beis Yaakov, the principal in Miss Nagid made fun to all the girls of Lubavitchers who drive around with a menorah on top of their cars, if they're doing the most worst thing in the world. Rav Zilber in Eretz Yisrael, the Oz Nidbaru, spoke very highly that somebody making an effort, that not only the Jews, but even the Goyim of the world. The Gemara says that you're supposed to put it on your chutzner, the Sha'ar, your chutzner lachutz, that everybody, Rishus HaRabim, is able to see Pirsumei Nisa. So I believe that Hanukkah, which was a supernatural miracle of the oil burning supernaturally for 8 days, requires us to publicize Pirsumei Nisa, because the miracle is a supernatural miracle. But since Purim was a hidden miracle, we don't go out on the streets telling all the nations of the world about Purim. There's no Pirsumei Nisa on Purim. We do have Megillah, and Megillah's Lashon of Giloy, that we reveal it. But where do we reveal it? You reveal it in your Beis Medrash. You reveal it in your Beis HaKnesses. You reveal it with your family. And therefore, the devekus that we can have with Hashem on Purim is not about showing everyone else. It's about reaching the level of Ad Lo Yada, that to the point that you don't even know the difference between blessing Mordechai and cursing Haman, because it's not about publicizing a supernatural miracle. It's about appreciating the natural miracles that are occurring in your life every single moment.
I get to go home.
That Ellie
Yeah, I'll bring it to you. I'll pass it to you.
specifically ask him to play it.
He doesn't. It's over here.
Ellie last night.
Do you want Ellie?
Like, sign on.
Do you want to play it, Ellie? Come, Ellie, come on up. Come on up, Ellie. Come on up. Come up. It's a seat here. You're good? You go home. It's here.
You must be very, building up your self-esteem.
Everyone says it.
Are you stopping to pretend you're kind of right now?
we got a request for the Zion Adar. In a week, will be Zion Adar, Moshe Rabbeinu's Yahrzeit. This was a nigun that Nechemia wrote for Moshe Rabbeinu's Yahrzeit. This is called the Zion Adar nigun. And we're going to get up and dance for a little bit. Then we'll serve the main course.
You gotta dance. You gotta dance. Akiva. I gotta dance.
There's so much of this.
Ellie, or Avi, percussion on this. We're getting up and dance on this one.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Frenkel, come on off.
Akiva.
Come on, Ellie.
Akiva's E minor.
A minor.
A minor.
Ellie, I can't hear you. to the spot say team right now?
Okay, break. Eat some food. Eat some food.
Who did I talk to get in?
Okay, while everybody is eating, I will say quickly through a mimer from the Magen Avos, the Koposter. Akiva last year put out a mimer from manuscript from Reb Shneur Zalman, Shlomo, from Kopost, the Tzemach Tzedek's grandson. And this is what he says. In this parsha of Truma, we learn about that in the Beis HaMikdash, or the Mishkan at the time, you're supposed to make an aron, and you're supposed to make 2 kruvim on top of the aron. To make a kapores, which is the cover for the aron, and out of one solid piece of gold, you're to beat a cover, and also produce 2 keruvim, 2 angels, connected to that piece of kapores. So it's very Kabbalah mimer. That's what he says. The level of an Adam, of an adult human, is the Ein Sof as it comes in b'chachma, and it's nimshach b'guf, and this virus of Atzilus, and this Adam Hagadol is called the Pnei Adam. But when it goes to the 3 lower worlds, Bri, Yitzur, and Asiyah, it has to come through the Kruv, which is like the child, like the baby, a Katan, Pnei Kruv. And this is Kruv Echad. There's one Kruv on one side, and there's one Kruv on the other. All of this is talking Mamalik Omen. But when a person is davening in Shacharis and they're saying Kriya Shema and they're misponing Milamata Lamayla from below, thinking of Hashem, they awaken a light of Hashem to come back below from the level of Soviv Kolom and encompassing the light from the level of the Kapores higher than the Kruvim. This is the second Kruv. So the first Kruv is your davening to Hashem. The second Kruv is what's coming down to you. The Luchos inside the Aron were Chabad, Torah, or Pnimi, food, revelation of life. The Aron that surrounds the Luchos is like the membrane over the brain and the skull, which is called Kruma. The Kapores, which is even higher, is the Gulgalta. It's the skull that surrounds the Luchos, and that represents the Madrega, the skull of the Mitzvos, which is the Armakif, which is a garment, which is a Hela. Because we know the Luchos are an Or Pnimi, the inner light of Hashem, that's enclosed in Kalim to produce the Luchos in the Sugyas of Shas that we learn. But the Armakif is Lamayla Mi'eslavshus, it can't be enclosed in Kalim, and this represents the Kaporis, the covering of the Aron, that's above the Aron. One Kruv brings down the Or Pnimi from above to below. The second Kruv receives the Ha'ara from below. But they are united together because of the Kapores, the covering of the Aron that brings them together, they are beaten from. Therefore, Kapores, Tasu is Hakruvim, you have to make the Kruvim from the Kapores. An Adam, a person, is divided up in different levels. We have Ozen, Chot, and Peh, the soul in Kisvei Arizal. Please, we'd love to learn with you Kisvei Arizal. Come by during the week. Plenty of time. Ozen, Chot, and Peh, Vadam Kadmon, the Ha'oros come out, Guf, Yadayim, Raglayim. But, Akiva, you have to hear this. Sit down, you have to hear this. Ozen, Chot, and Peh, why is the Arizal so busy on Ozen, Chot, and Peh? Because it's all Bechin of Adam.
Right.
What about from the forehead? Why don't we start with the forehead of Adam Kadmon? Because the forehead is not called an Adam. And the skull, the Golgotha, which is even higher, is low, the Bechin of low Adam. So if so, how can the Kruvim, which are such little children, be on top of the Kapores, which is the level of Makif of encompassing? And we know when the time to come, this world will be destroyed, and it'll become a world of water. Water on top of water. And Hashem will put wings on the tzaddikim, and the neshamas of the tzaddikim will swim and fly across the water with their wings. The upper waters and the lower waters mixed together is Chachmi Lo and Chachma Tato, Chachmas Bachutz Tarono. And after we purify the Chachma in the world together, then comes the Madrega of the wings, which is your right arm and your left arm, your love and your fear for Hashem, even though your emotions of Chagat are coming from Chabad, but the shoresh of Midos of Chagat come higher than Chabad. They come from Keser itself. And therefore the tzaddikim are able to fly over the water, even over the upper Chachma, because when a bird flies with its wings, it's even able to take its head and its body up to a higher madrega. Last page. So the Magen Avos sends off. In the Torah, you have the Mayim Elyonim, Mayim Tachtonim, the upper waters and the lower waters before the creation of the world. What? Oh, Rabbi Ephraim, have a safe trip back. Please come back. We'll see you again quickly.
Next week I will.
Ezras Hashem. Thank you for coming in from New York, especially for the Farbrengen. So, in order for you tomorrow morning, when you daven Shacharis, to put on your wings and to fly up to Shamayim, is specifically through your performance of mitzvos, because there are two kruvim, two cherubim on top of the Aron. One represents bringing down things by learning Torah. The second kruv represents by sending things up by davening. And they have wings of love and fear, which is the feminine waters being man sent up to Keser, and therefore the kruvim are higher than the kapores, because the kapores represents Gulgalta the Zoh. This is the level of the skull of Zoh, and the luchos are only Chabad of Zoh, while the wings are Chagat of Zoh, and therefore it's able to go the highest because of the mitzvahs that a person performs. And it's the greatest pleasure that an adult parent has is when the little child is lifted up to their face at the highest level, and that we are these little children. We are the kruv. And when we do mitzvos and we're mevatel ourselves to Hashem to just be frum in a crazy generation, that's the greatest pleasure that our parent Hashem can have from us. And Hashem has the greatest simcha. So when we are frum, we fly with our wings up through tshuva to Hashem, which is higher than learning Torah, higher than the performance of the mitzvos, which is just the kapores and the luchos. And then, sochachim b'chanfeihem, that the wings of these children of Klal Yisrael being frum to fly up to Hashem goes up to Rabbi the Reuven, which is the greatest will of Hashem, and it sweetens all of the negative judgments against Klal Yisrael, and Ishapich Latov, and everything is turned into good.
Avraham.
WD-40 song. WD-40 song.
Is that good? Or you want to do it? No, it's fine.
All right, a song from Avraham, a couple more songs, then we're going to do dessert. It's getting late. Somebody's birthday brought dessert in.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It will happen.
And here's to hope, however it's attained, to give strength to conviction. And here's to hope, however it's explained. It's not science, it's not fiction. Here's to hope for rain, for smiles and peace again. Well, hope will get you by. It's a crazy world. You need hope to let it go when you can't make sense of all the dope. It's like WD-40 on a rusty soul. Here's to hope for rain, for smiles and peace again. There's hope when you strangers all when you turn. There's hope, you think there's nothing there, and suddenly your heart breaks into song. Hope will get you by. It's a crazy world. You need hope to let it go. When you can't make sense of all of the loop, it's like WD-40 on a rusty soul. Here's the hope. The smile, peace and good. There's hope when you can't see the trees for the forest, and all roads lead to losing everything. There's hope till some ghoul calls the florist. They say it helps the pain if you'll just say, hope will get you by. Hope will get you by. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. You need hope, so let it go. When you can't make sense of all the dope, it's like WD-40 on a rusty song. There's still hope for rain. Smile, peace and good. All right, Shlomo, take it here, man. Sailing on a stormy sea. You need hope, I know, to navigate. I know, when troubles come at you like a tsunami. Hope will get you over the next chords. Here's the hope. Let's just bring the volume down. Shlomo, just bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, everybody down a little bit.
And G.
We're in G.
I pulled into Nazareth. I was feeling pissed. I just need a place where I can lay my head. Hey, mister, can you tell me where a man might find a bed? He just grinned and shook my hand, and no was all was said. Take a load off Eddie, take a load off Ray, take a load off Eddie. Put the load right on me. I picked up my bag, I went looking for a place to hide. When I saw Carmen and the devil walking side by side, I said, hey Carmen, come on, let's go downtown. He said, well, I gotta go, but my friend can stay around. Take a load off Eddie, take a load off Fred, take a load off Eddie. You put the load right on me. Crazy Chester followed me, and he caught me in a bar. Said, I will fix your axe if you'll take Jack my dog. I said, wait a minute, Chester, you know I'm a peaceful man. He said, that's okay, so won't you feed him when you can? Take a load off Eddie, take a load for free. I want you to hear, take a load off Eddie. I said, hey, hey, hey. You put the load right on me. Hey, now. Catch a cannonball, now to take me down the line. My back is sinking low, and I do believe it's time to get back to Miss Fanny. You know she's the only one who sent me here with her thoughts for everyone. Everyone there. Take a load off Fanny, take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny. Hey, hey, hey. Put the load right on me. They say everything can be replaced. They say every distance is not near. Still I remember every face of every man who put me here. please. He said every man needs protection. He said that every man must fall. Still I swear I see my reflection somewhere so high above this wall. I see my light come shining from the west down through the east. Any day now, oh, any day now, I shall be released. I'm gonna rock and roll here. Well, you're somewhere yonder in this lonesome world, a man who swears he's not to blame. All day long I hear him shouting so loud, just crying out that he's been framed. I see my light come shining from the west down through the east. Any day now, oh, any day now, I shall be released. One more time. Any day now, anywhere now, I shall be released. Take it home, boys. I shall be released. That song would get me a hamburger and fries at the Fat Black Pussycat on McDougal Street. You better
C
do it.
major, A minor. Chucky
Yes,
C
sir.
major. 1, 2, 3.
Lord Almighty, I feel my temperature rising. Higher and higher, it's burning through my soul. Go, 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 you're gonna set me on fire. My brain is flaming, I don't know which way to go. Your kissings lift me higher, like the sweet song of the choir. You light my morning sky with burning love. as I watch this river flow out into the sea, up and down where can they go? Where I'd rather be. I listen to her endless sound as the water moves along. Goodbye was there so many times, I just never heard her song. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, one more city of my dreams. I've been this way sometime before, and that's the way it seems. I walk the streets, I've seen the walls, and I've sung their song. I've been waiting for that great man to come down, take all the eating home. I'm alive. Got to know you from
Yeah, we got a bench. We got a bench. Got a bench. On my side, we got a bench. Shira Malos. Shira Malos. Shira Malos. All right. On my side, Shira Malos. We have the bench. Shira Malos. Bishop Adar. Bench right now.
I didn't watch it.
Okay.